The three significant points of why I got into it was basically this: sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And yes, everybody in 1966 got fully into sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
I think what kind of got me out of the nightclub business was, you know, the shows used to end at 1:30. By the time we got the acts out, it'd be 4 in the morning, and we'd probably stay another couple, 3 hours to do what we needed to do. So by 6:30 or so, 6:37 was the time to go home. And in the wintertime or the fall, it was dark out. So I'd open up the doors to basically the main club down here, the Waldorf. And as I opened up the doors, and mostly I should go back in the spring or the summer, the sun would be out. And as I opened up the doors, the sun would hit you because this was a darkened out, these are darkened out clubs. And people were going to work with briefcases. Those were not some of my favorite days.
But any happy memories, I guess?
Of course. I mean, there was a lot of great acts that came through here, both on the Punchline side and the Old Waldorf side. We never really had problems with crowd control or anything of that sort. People were nice. We had a really great clientele that used to come to see these shows. Different clienteles for different groups. R&B would draw R&B crowds, and rock would draw rock crowds. Comedy would draw comedy crowds. But overall, I think in the 8 years that I operated the Old Waldorf and the Punchline, I don't think we had 2 fights in the whole time. And you're dealing with a lot of people. You're dealing with hundreds of thousands of people over the course of time. So it was really a nice venue. It was very nice.
Well, what was one of the biggest acts to come through the Punchline?
The Punchline, I guess, his name Jay Leno? Jay Leno. Jay Leno played here. Dana Garvey played here all the time. He was the opening act on a lot of occasions at the Waldorf. I think we had pretty close to every major comedy act or person there is today. I mean, a lot of them lasted along for this amount of time. And anybody you can pretty much think of in the comedy field played when I owned the place. In February of 1980, actually February the 29th, it was a leap year, and I sold the place to Bill Graham, and Bill Graham Presents, and they took it over, basically, both clubs. And I was 34 at the time, or 35, 34. I was 34 at the time, and it was just time for me. I had done it for 8 years. It was a lot of work, operating and booking the clubs. And it just finally, at 34, I felt that I should probably go in a different direction. I don't miss it to the sense of operating it. I do sort of miss it, it's exciting when you get popular groups in who play good music, or comedians that have good comedy. Those are exciting times, and it's kind of exciting getting them on stage on the, in that sort of situation, and observing the crowd and watching how they enjoy the acts and such like that. It's fulfilling.